What's going on, everyone? In this video, I'm just going to do a quick ad breakdown, a couple different slides here, just going over a couple different CPG brands, some of the Facebook ads that I like that some of these guys are running, and just do some quick breakdowns of each. Just kind of show you my process when I'm doing ad research, when I'm looking for competitors on Foreplay. This is kind of how I go about it. So, do a couple breakdowns here. So this first one is Pet Lab Co. This one's kind of a loaded ad. This has like a ton of different stuff in here, but we'll break it down real quick. So first thing is just strong social proof. They've got 4.5 stars here. They've got the Trustpilot rating up here. That's really the first thing that people kind of see, grabs my attention. That just really builds credibility. They also have the as seen on. So like this down here, like if you've been featured in any of these publications, you can add that to, adds authority, adds credibility. The more the better. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is obviously just this offer, 20% off, probably a first time customer discount. Anytime you can have a good intro offer, and you can call it out in the creative, that's always really good to do. So they stick that on here. And then the benefit callouts as well, super simple, but helps yeast and allergies, maintains gut health. So this is really hitting like multiple different things in this one creative. So that's why I really like this, and I think they've been running this for a while, so they've been probably spending a good amount of money on this, but that's kind of how I look about that. Next one is Armra. So these guys have been running a ton of ads. They've really been just like grinding on paid social. I've seen just a ton of different ads. They're probably spending a lot, but this is one that I really liked. So this one is kind of like feature stacking. Right here, 400 plus functional nutrients. If it makes sense for your product, especially in like CPG, if you can call out like the actual number of ingredients or nutrients, whatever it is, that's always a good thing to do, just because this is an example where when someone thinks of like a healthy supplement or consumable, anything like that, and you say 400 functional nutrients, that sounds like it sounds like a good deal. It sounds like you're getting bang for your buck. So it really just kind of creates good value there. Other things too, benefit call outs. So reactivate hair growth. Obviously that's what their core customer is looking for. So they called that out. And then attractive offer as well, 30% off. Again, always good to call that out, when you can. So now we go into Rise. These guys also are spending a ton on paid ads. Couple different things here. This is also more of like a themed ad too. Like this, when I see these colors, I think of like fall, the orange and the brown, and it looks like that's maybe where they're going for, but I still like this ad for a couple different reasons. First one is the risk reversal guarantee. So try 30 days risk-free. With all these brands like Mushroom Coffee, for example, a lot of their customers are people that have never tried any alternative to just normal coffee. So to get them to actually make the switch, you want to give them an incentive. So 30-day risk-free trial is a great incentive there. And then pairing that with a big discount, so from $36 to $27, that's an attractive discount for new buyers. And then a compelling offer as well. You get a free spoon plus shipping, and then some urgency and scarcity, limited time offers. So this is hitting on like all the like selling tactics in one, between good offer, risk reversal, urgency, scarcity, like all that stuff is what this is hitting. So I really like this ad for that reason. Then if we go to Magic Spoon, they also are running a lot of ads, but I think their comparison ads are really good. So this is a good example of like an us versus them, comparing their product to traditional cereals. So 0 grams of sugar versus 11 grams, net carbs, protein. I think this is a really interesting one, because when you think of cereal, you don't think of protein, and that's kind of like their whole thing is, every box has 12, or every serving has 12 to 14 grams of protein. So calling that out is super important in the ads, and kind of how I noted here, it can be used with competitors or market alternatives. So another example would be, instead of like a cereal versus cereal, if you're doing this for coffee, like if Rise was doing this, or like a coffee brand, they could do us versus an alternative. So like an energy drink is an alternative product to coffee. It's not the same category, but it's something that someone might drink in the morning to get energy. So don't just think about your competitors, think about alternatives as well that can do really well in ads. So just be thinking about that. Next, we have Javi. So they're kind of like a coffee brand, and this one is kind of like coffee infused or protein infused coffee, basically. It's kind of like a mix. So really hit on the USPs and differentiation. It's a new solution in the market that combines two products in one, what I just talked about. And then they have a bunch of benefit callouts as well. High quality, no added fillers, zero sugar, long lasting energy. So I think they do a really good job here as well. And it's also just really visually appealing. We do a lot of creative like this where kind of just like a simple backdrop, simple headline, and you just have, the product as the centerpiece and then benefits all around it. These tend to work really well for statics, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one is crushing. Then you have Mudwater. First, they have the problem call out in the headline, death to brain fog. So obviously people who are drinking this deal with brain fog, they deal with not being able to concentrate. They just want to call that out immediately in the headline, just to bring attention. And then, just some benefit icons. This is like a super condensed way of getting the benefits across of your product, is just having these little icons. And at the end, they have social proof. So, over 1 million happy customers. They just list that over and over again. But anytime you have like a lot of customers, it's good to include the amount, just because it just really builds that social proof. It's one thing to say like, tons of 5-star reviews, but if you could say, over 5,000 5-star reviews, like that makes a huge difference. So anytime you can quantify things, you should, which I think they do a good job of here. Then we have Huel. So this is kind of like an old me versus new me style, which I really like. And they use visualization. So it's another version of comparison ad. For example, the us versus them. But this one I think does an even better job, because it's showing like what your current state might be or your old state. In this image, to some people, I don't know, they might like to see this image, but so for someone who's trying to get healthy, they might see this image and be like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to eat that every day. And then it shows the product as the alternative, obviously. So it's a simplified way to show difference in benefits between the product and the market alternative. Again, this is more so a like comparison between alternative products than it is versus like a competitor. And then they just list, the benefits here, do a really clear, concise job of that. Super simple ad. A lot of times simple scales, so big fan of this one as well. Then we have Bloom. So this is more of like a scientific approach. 95% of serotonin is produced in the gut. They just hit you with a stat right out the gate. It includes specific data around studies to build credibility and authority. It has an ingredient breakdown, so it talks about not just what ingredients are in it, but what they do. So this is one thing I see a lot of CPG brands get wrong, is they'll list the different ingredients they have, but they won't talk about what it actually does. Because if you have to understand, like most people aren't going to understand what the ingredients do, or they might not even care what the ingredients are, right? Like you just have to talk about benefits, not features. And in this case, ingredients would be considered a feature. So just make sure you actually highlight the benefits, and it'll go a long way. And then this hits on social proof again. 10,000 plus happy customers, that's a lot. So just want to include that anytime you can in your ads. Then we have Noon Brew. So this one starts with an exclusive offer, 25% off sample kit while stock lasts. Just adds in a little bit of scarcity there at the end. Then we have a testimonial. So the Noon Brew woke me up like a charm. Moon Brew sent me straight to dreamland. This kit is pure magic. So this has two of their products, two kind of like complementary products. Highlights both of them and hits on the benefits of each in one quote, which is really nice. So it's important to make sure you're using like good testimonials. I've seen some ads where they pull like just the most generic testimonial ever, where it's like, this product is good, works great. It's like that doesn't do anything for the customer. It's not telling them anything. So use like real good testimonials that are super specific and really hit on the benefits and the desired outcome of the product, which is what they did here. And then social proof, 2,500 plus 5-star reviews and 80,000 plus customers. Again, that's a lot, so you want to include that in ads. Make sure you call that out whenever you can. Obviously, if you're just starting out, if you're a newer brand, maybe don't use that yet. But as soon as you get over like, I'd say like 10,000 customers, even less, even like 5,000 customers, I would include that, in these kinds of ads. And yeah, that's the last one. Want to keep this video pretty short, but that's kind of how I look about these ad breakdowns. You don't need to go super crazy on them. Like, you don't need to spend hours sitting down and analyzing every little detail. Just get the main takeaways, figure out what the common themes are among their ads. So if you're doing competitor research, find what you think their top ads are. And obviously if you use like Foreplay, you can do this by filtering on, longest running, stuff like that. But find out what you think the top ads are, and then find commonalities between them. Find common themes in terms of concept, styling, messaging, imagery, whatever it is. And that's how you kind of, figure out what is actually working for them, right? Otherwise, you're kind of just picking stuff that you think looks good and then just throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks. This is more of a methodic approach to this, and this is just how I go about doing it. So yeah, short video today, but hopefully this is helpful. And yeah, let me know if you find these helpful, and I'll continue to make videos just like this. Appreciate it.